All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachaha, Quadash. I want to give double honors to that apostle, Neldas, a great millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessing to you, sincere Akim, that are pushing this truth all over the four corners of the earth, week in and week out in our truth. And to say this is breaking news, breaking news. Wildfires in Los Angeles caused thousands under mandatory evacuations as fires burn hundreds of acres. And this is still live. This is a breaking news from NBC News Now. Breaking life-threatening wildfires burn hundreds of acres in Los Angeles. And this is in the area of these uh, multi-million dollar mansions. Okay, the Los Angeles Hills, very close to Malibu, and where these multi-millionaires dwell. All right, and I'm gonna let this play a little bit, and I got a couple scriptures I want to bring out as well.
Cases, Hallie, they were just walking down the sidewalk as quickly as they can with suitcases trying to get, and they're with my helmet. That's how strong these winds are, Hallie. That they're just trying to get whatever they can out of the way.
That just is the wind taking your helmet off. Chase, give me a beat. I'm going to let you go. Get your helmet. That's critical. Go do that. I want you to stay with me in my ear.
Shot there, the KNBC reporter, and there were two firefighters with hoses on that house, and they have.
So they're saying the dangerous Santa Ana winds gusting to 80 miles an hour. So these winds at that magnitude could very well spread these wildfires very, very quickly, which it probably is already happening. Okay, it says relatively humidity 10 to 20%. It says explosive fire weather conditions. So basically, these reporters are going into how the conditions that this particular area is in is prime and perfect for fire to spread very, very quickly.
Retreated, and that house is now lost. Just to give you an idea of this, it's impossible of what they're trying to go against right now. It's so dry, it is so windy that containment's not even possible right now.
Bill, that's the shot. Just so people know. I mean, we were just looking at this a few minutes ago. I mean, and this is what we're seeing now. It's smoke. That's all it is, right? Black smoke.
Yeah, so this fire is going to go wherever it wants, Hallie. I mean, they were doing some airdrops earlier in the day. I haven't seen any planes in at least the last hour or two because the winds are starting to increase. They may have just said it's not safe. I know the helicopters can't fly. We're not seeing aerials from our NBC station in LA because they don't have permission to fly because the winds are well over 50 miles per hour, which is their criteria. So we're seeing a lot of ground shots here. And yeah, that's the shot of that house that they're still spraying water on it. If you missed it earlier when we were doing the coverage, the firefighters actually went into this home, removed what looked like a grandfather clock, an antique, put it across the street. They grabbed photo albums. So these firefighters almost knew that it was almost hopeless to try to save this, but they wanted to save something for the homeowners. And there's so many heroic things that are happening out there right now.
We're watching a woman.
Yeah.
Leah, let me just, I think this is Chase.
Highway from Malibu to Santa Monica. There's several main thoroughfares and intersections that you'll pass through. One, right here, what you're looking at is the bluffs in, and now to push cars out of the way so the first responders can make their way to the scene. As I said to you earlier, this is a life-threatening situation.
And this very well could be Esau using his direct energy weapons once again. You know,
streets right now to push cars out of the way so the first responders can make their way to the scene. As I said to you earlier, this is a life-threatening situation, not just for the people in this area, but throughout large swaths of Southern California. You do not see winds like this. And when you see fires in Southern California, you mentioned the fire near Pepperdine and Malibu, generally they are in the less populated, more mountainous parts of Southern California. You do see occasionally fires that ravage these buildings and these homes, but not like this, not in a place where there's 23,000 people living in one of the larger neighborhoods in not just the county of Los Angeles, but right in the middle of the city of Los Angeles, Hallie.
It's staggering to see and to think about. Jacob Soboroff, thank you. I'm going to let you and your crew get in the car, make your way out there. We'll check back in with you later on tonight as this continues to develop. Sobo, thank you. I got to tell you, we have moved Chase Kane now. I'm not sure if that's his shot we're looking at on the left side of your screen. It is a different shot because Chase and his team are moving to a safer location. Let me just pull back the curtain a little bit to give you a sense of what's happening here. We are getting feeds in from a number of stations and partners across Southern California. These are live pictures coming in. Look at that. You should be seeing sky on the left-hand side of your screen. Instead, you just see smoke. Same in the bottom right corner. Another live shot there.
And it's really drying out the atmosphere. I want to show you the satellite imagery. This is a 2-hour loop here. And if you take your eye just to the west of Los Angeles, this is an indication of our satellite imagery picking up that smoke well up in the upper levels of the atmosphere here. So again, it's coming in from the north and east all the way down to the south and west, blowing out into the Pacific Ocean. Let's talk about wildfire triangles and what that typically means. We need certain things to help fuel fires. We've got the Santa Ana winds that are helping to make this fire more dangerous and more intense. So we've got the topography, that's the brush, the trees, the hills in the area there in the Palisades, and the fuel is also the dry conditions there on the ground. The weather we have outside right now, a drop in the humidity and these strong, significant northeasterly Santa Ana winds, the most significant Santa Ana wind event we've seen so far this season. Also new this afternoon, we've got a wildfire smoke advisory. So this will stay up until 5 p.m. on Wednesday until tomorrow. This is for Santa Monica. You are included in that because of the Palisades fire back to the north and west through Calabasas and just to the north of Malibu. We're dealing with strong, smoky conditions, and the winds are everywhere this afternoon. It's not just confined to the Palisades. Look at some of these gusts. Santa Clarita, we've got a gust up to 55 miles per hour, close to 50 in Lancaster, 40 in Riverside, and then we look.
So I did a little research on Santa Monica, California. It says Santa Monica, California. It says 2 Santa Monica neighborhoods are among Los Angeles County's most expensive. According to a recent report from Property Shark, the neighborhood north of Montana landed in the country's top 10 most expensive places at number 7. The median home sale price in the area in 2022 was $4,378,000. And that's where the general area where these fires are taking place.
Had gusts there in Los Angeles, 15 down to Long Beach and at 30 miles per hour. So we're even starting to see these winds be an issue for some of our typical wind prone and wind sheltered locations. Let's talk about what we can expect. What's next as we go throughout the rest of tonight and into our Wednesday here. For the rest of this afternoon, we've got winds
just down a little bit.
Turn to the right, Sirkan, if you can see that. This intersection that we're at, that is Sunset Boulevard. That's again where we're seeing this thick black smoke. If you can pan the camera back to the right a bit, we're seeing another plume of thick black smoke, which suggests that yet another building, yet another home. They have.
So as of now, 1,200 acres have burned in Los Angeles.
Caught on fire here. It's a pretty developed area. Yes, there's lots of hills and canyons, again, along Sunset Boulevard through Pacific Palisades. But even right here at this intersection, you see a multiple story.
Let's pull out a scripture real quick. Let's go to Nahum chapter 1. And let's start in verse 3. It says, "The Lord is slow to anger, great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet." I'll read that. Slacking. I'm going to read that in NLT. It says, "The Lord is slow to get angry, but his power is great, and he never lets the guilty go unpunished. He displays his power in the whirlwind and the storm. The billowing clouds are the dust beneath his feet." Let's jump to verse 4 in the KJV. It says, "He rebuketh the sea and make it dry up, and drieth up all the rivers." It says, "Bashan languish, and Carmel and the flower of Lebanon languish. The mountains quake at him, and the hills melt, and the earth is burned at his presence. Yea, the world and all that dwell therein." So ultimately, this is of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and you heard that news reporter going into the prime perfect conditions for a wildfire to get bigger and ultimately spread very, very quickly. 80 mile per hour plus winds, the humidity rate, and the dryness of this particular area. Okay, and like I said earlier, this very well could be, Esau using these conditions as a opportunity to, use his direct energy weapons for his advantage. Okay, we've seen this time and time again. Esau clear out acres and acres of land, destroy homes, businesses, ultimately to get people up out of there, right?
Condo apartment building, businesses on the bottom. This is a really well-known area for people in Los Angeles. It's not far from where I enjoy coming to the beach in LA. So I think anyone who's spent any time, certainly anyone who lives in Los Angeles, they're very familiar with this area. And again, a mobile home park just to the south of where we are towards Santa Monica, where they are doing their best to try and get people out before the flames make it down the hill, Hallie.
Let me ask our team, Chase, to pull up the live shot. I think it was a live shot that we were just showing of that house on fire. Is that live? I'm asking our control room. That's Pacific Palisades. That is a live shot. It's just it never gets easier to see something like that. We've covered a lot of wildfires, folks that have lived out west. Chase, I mean, how many wildfires have you covered, right, as an LA correspondent there? It never gets any easier to see people's homes being destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah, Hallie. I mean, the other heartbreaking thing is when you see people just coming down the sidewalk and they have a suitcase or they have some pictures under their arm. It's just heartbreaking because they had mere moments. I mean, even just as you're looking right now, one of the embers has caught a palm tree on fire there. I mean, that's how a fire works like this when you have such strong winds. That's why the National Weather Service said this is a particularly dangerous red flag situation. And my producer Steven's talking to me as well.
The palm tree.
Yeah, so the palm tree is yet another spot where you've seen one of these embers catch. I mean, a lot of buildings here that at any moment, Hallie, you get one ember in the wrong place and people's lives are destroyed.
And you look at how fast this fire is moving. Chase, when we started this breaking rolling coverage, not even 90 minutes ago, I think it was just an hour ago, it was something like 800 acres.
The house right here, there's no one inside. That homeowner evacuated that we spoke with.
And how sporadic this fire is from watching this, it has me hinting towards that this very well could be Esau using his direct energy weapons. Just my 2 cents. I could be wrong.
But we can't tell up the hill. There's another home. Just trying to get a better idea of how close it is to this home that's burning right now, but it's very difficult to tell.
Right. So
just down the Pacific Coast Highway from where this fire is spreading here. Dr. Sayal, just very briefly, thank you for making your way onto your roof for us. You can see the smoke from where you are. You're somebody who lives in LA. Give us a sense of what you're seeing.
Hey, Hallie, so you can see there's quite a big cloud of smoke here right behind me. And here where I live in Santa Monica, I've essentially been, just watching that cloud of smoke kind of inch closer and closer towards us. You can hear, fire trucks here and sirens every few minutes. And, one thing we're really looking for as the wind turns up is.
So these multi-million-dollar houses are getting burned up and people don't have the time to, gather a whole bunch of things to throw in their vehicles to get a U-Haul. All right. They're basically leaving out with whatever they can carry in their hands because these fires are spreading that fast. Like I read to you earlier, Santa Monica area, there's 2 neighborhoods in Santa Monica that are Los Angeles County's most expensive. Okay, so this is a very rich, prominent area where these fires are burning.
How are those people with those lung disease and chronic conditions going to be affected? So if I can just take a moment to remind everybody to wear one of these if you are somebody who has a chronic condition. This is a KN95 mask to really stay safe and make sure that, this doesn't need to be worse than it is.
Dr. Sayal, thank you very much.
Drive and Surfside Drive. Our evacuation center is the Westwood Recreation Center located at 1350 South Sepulveda Boulevard in LA. The population threatened is approximately 25,748 households.
So we can get the resources we need to be able to deal with this emergency.
They are not out of danger yet. The wind is supposed to pick up later on tonight in Southern California into the early morning hours, and that is when things will get even more treacherous than they are now. Things will get worse, as you heard, before they get better. You are looking on the left.
So 30,000 people under evacuation in this particular area.
Left-hand side of your screen at a live shot that we've been following over the course of the
tropical storm force winds. And one of the things that, I think is most
Yeah, so the winds that are happening out there are hurricane force winds, 80 plus mile an hour. You heard what the reporter said, tropical force storm winds that are happening in this particular area, and there's fires going on at the same time, and you add in the low percentage of humidity. They basically said this is prime perfect conditions for a wildfire to spread very, very quickly and over a very broad area.
concerning is that the forecast is that this is going to be even worse tonight. So, I mean,
as we speak, and I just want to thank the president, because that's something I don't take for granted and something we should not take for granted at this moment in American history. So thank you, President Biden, as well. Final point. We encourage you. You heard all those websites. I don't want to burden you with any more except one. Fire.ca.gov. And why do I say that? Nothing like it in the countries, nothing like that we've seen in any jurisdiction around the world. 3D maps and live cams on fire.ca.gov would also show you the evacuation orders. I encourage people to take a look at that site for information. And of course, ready.ca.org to make sure that you're prepared as we work through yet another extraordinary month in this fire year, perpetual fire year here in the state of California. Thank you again to all of the folks behind me and the outstanding leadership of all the elected officials as well. And forgive me, one point I'd be remiss. Thank you to Mayor Bass, who was on the phone immediately this morning, making sure even in absentia.
You have been listening, of course, to California Governor Gavin Newsom as a fire is burning in the LA area, some 1,200 acres, 30,000 people under evacuation orders. You are watching NBC News Now. We will have continuing coverage picking up right now.
So we'd like to have public information.
I want to close on Isaiah 29 and verse 6. It says, "Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire." I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachaha, Kodash, double honors to that apostle, and elders, a great millstone, who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessing to you, sincere Akim, that are pushing this truth all over the four corners of the earth. To the next time, Shalom.